Good evening, Periscope family. It is 9 p.m. Welcome to Wednesday night's book club. It's the Act on This TV book club. We do this every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. For those who haven't got a clue who I am, or if you're tuning in for the first time, good evening. Tony Rossi is in straight away. He's not tuning in for the first time. But if you are tuning in for the first time, good evening, Emily. I don't know if you are tuning in for the first time then. Maybe you are. I got your message today. Lucy's here. I just saw someone else. Loads of people are joining, but if you first timer, says Emily. Amazing, Emily. Well, welcome. Can we give Emily some hearts, please? Tap your screen if you're on for the first time. Yeah, that'll create hearts, Emily, if you never watched the Periscope before. If you like what you're hearing tonight on this scope, the more you press the screen, the more hearts you can give. It doesn't really mean anything, but just makes everyone feel good. Welcome, Emily, says Tony. I'm getting distracted, guys. Yeah, if you're watching for the first time or you're watching on the replay of this, because these always get recorded and a replay goes online. My name is Ross. I'm an actor. I'm a voiceover artist from Manchester in the UK, and I scope twice a week. Tonight is book club. We do that every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. UK time. On a Monday night, we do a different session called Motivation and Mind Hacks. Good evening, Miss Gypsy. Welcome. Miss Gypsy's from America as well, same as Tony. Yeah, we do something called Motivation and Mind Hacks, and that is a session where we literally hack our motivation, productivity. We effectively look at our lives, our careers, what we're doing, and I share stuff that's working in my life, stuff that I'm implementing that I'm getting further with. But ultimately, we just look at tips, strategies, proven science-backed positive psychology in order to help you get further in your life and career faster. I'm an actor and a voiceover artist, like I said, so some of it relates to the acting industry, the voiceover industry. A lot of the people watching these scopes are actors as well. But if you are a human being on this planet, regardless of the job you do, this all absolutely 100% applies to you as well. Okay, so if you're thinking, I'm not an actor, stick around, because tonight doesn't matter, really doesn't matter. And tonight, guys, this is the third week we are looking at a great book that was requested. Well, I chose the book, but the topic was requested by loads of people in the Act on This community. Act on This is a website I run, by the way. If you're an actor and you're not on it, get on it, actonthis.tv. We've got a great Facebook group as well, facebook.com/groups/actonthisTV. And a lot of actors in the community were saying they were really struggling with or they were suffering with or living with, however you want to term it, with anxiety, where it wasn't just like, where some actors get a little bit anxious about an audition like we all do, just regular nerves. This kind of anxiety was absolutely crippling people, as in like it was actually sabotaging their entire life. Some people on here were super open and vulnerable. Dawn, good evening. And we're sort of sharing in their life how it was affecting them. And some people were unable to leave the house sometimes. Some people were completely debilitated by it. It was really ruining their lives. So I was like, right, we need to address this. Thankfully, touch wood, it's something that I've not really suffered with in my life, but I'm absolutely fascinated and obsessed with high performance mindset and psychology, so I'm like, I know we can tackle this from a scientific perspective if we dive deep enough. I just watched a video on anxiety for actors from my life coach. We'll take notes and share in the group. Awesome, Tony. Yeah, put it in the Facebook group. Is there anything you can link to? Because like I say, I'm just the bridge between you guys in this book. Okay, this isn't a specialist subject of mine. So that would be great. So what we did in week 1, this is week 3, guys, so to just recap very quickly, in week 1 we looked at what anxiety is basically, and we looked at something called the Triforce, which is really what sets anxiety off in all human beings, and that is it consists of thoughts which lead to feelings, which lead to behaviours, which effectively feed back into our thoughts. So for example, you may be having a negative thought about, if you're an actor, you're going, okay, oh my god, I've got an audition today, am I going to be any good? Okay, that thought, asking yourself a negative question, feeds into your feelings of doubt. Oh, actually, no, maybe I'm not very good. Oh shit, oh god, what if I screw my lines up? Which feeds into your behaviours. You walk into that room completely disempowered, nervous, shaking, hyperventilating, heart pounding, whatever that is. Okay, that behaviour then feeds back into your thoughts. So your heart's pounding. You're like, oh my god, what, I'm having a heart attack. What, you're having a heart attack? Oh my god. Then you feel like, oh, I'm going to die. Back at your behaviour. It literally is self-perpetuating and just will release, well, scientifically, it releases a huge dump of cortisol, which is a stress hormone in our body, and a massive release of adrenaline, which is our flight or fight hormone, effectively. Super, super stressful. It sets off a part in the center of your head called your amygdala, it's your alarm system, and you go into overdrive, effectively, have a complete meltdown, and if you are trying to do anything productive, you might as well just kiss it goodbye. If you're in an audition, it is done. Whatever you are doing, it's kind of game over. So that was week 1. We were looking at really the cognitive distortions, as we call them in psychology, behind things that can lead to those initial thoughts, and they can be all kind of things known as catastrophizing, which is basically where you are imagining an absolute catastrophe that's about to unfold; personalizing, where you might take complete offense by something that was nothing personal, nothing to do with you at all; where we like to fortune tell almost about things that are going to happen to us that are bad; other things as well. What other things did Robert Duff, who's written this book, he came up with loads of stuff that everyone was just agreeing with and going, that's exactly like me. Mind reading. Okay, Chris Stone Films is joining us live from France. Welcome, Chris. Mind reading is a bad one, where you well, it says here, you know, many of us are guilty of this. Mind reading is very much what it sounds like. You assume that you know a person's thoughts or internal motives, even though in reality you're just taking a guess. So that's where you're like, oh, I've just posted this video online, and oh my god, everybody's going to think I'm an absolute idiot. And you're just trying to mind read other people's thoughts. Fanny says all the bloody time. That can lead to massive anxiety. It's like, honestly, you're just guessing at what other people are thinking, and generally you're going to guess at negative things. It's not, you know, it's not how life is. That can lead to massive anxiety. Last week we looked at your body's response to anxiety. The title of the chapter was called Don't Be a Jerk. Oh no, it wasn't. That's this week's title. The title of the chapter last week was Your Body. What was it? Your body can be an asshole too. Robert puts everything very, very bluntly. Good evening, Mary. Mary's on here as well. We looked at the physical symptoms of anxiety, stuff like pounding heartbeat, shakiness, shortness of breath, sour stomach, headache, dizziness, feeling of pressure on your chest, sweating, feeling of choking, chills or hot flushes. I heard on the radio that we have 70,000 thoughts in a day, and half of them are negative. I reckon it's more than half, Dawn. Even if they're thinking negative thoughts of us, they move on and think of themselves. I didn't catch you said that, but yeah, absolutely. People need to realise, if they're mind reading other people about what they're thinking, is that actually, unfortunately, we're all so bloody egotistical. We think of ourselves for 23 hours and 56 minutes of the day. They might think of you for like 4 minutes of the day, and then they're back onto themselves. So don't even go there. Don't even worry about it. So we looked at the physical symptoms, and we went through an awesome breathing exercise called 4-7-8. Okay, and if you haven't been doing this, or you haven't done it since last week, I've been doing this on the way to the gym, just because I said I would, and I'd try it out in different areas of my life. I walk to the gym in the morning at 6:45 a.m. I ain't feeling that alive in that time in the morning, and I've got it's probably only about a mile walk, but it's pitch black at the moment, it's very dark, it's cold. Tony says I love this exercise, and I've been doing it just to kind of like chill me out on the way to the gym. And I get to the foyer of the gym and I'm just so zen, it's just ridiculous. And 4-7-8 goes like this, guys. Basically what you do, we'll talk you through. Should we do it now? We did it last week on the scope, but basically what you've got to do is you're going to breathe in for a count of 4, you're going to hold it for a count of 7, and then you're going to release it for a count of 8. And you've got to do this. Amazing, it really works, says Dawn. You've got to do this for 5 to 15 minutes. That sounds a long time, but it's not. 5 minutes is fine to start off with. It goes by quite quickly, but you'll just get yourself into the zone. I've been using the classic excuse, I don't have time. not done it at all, says Fanny. That's because you're spending too much time with anxiety. You ain't got time to breathe, Fanny. You've got too much time being anxious. That's like people who are like, I say to people, do you procrastinate? Put your hand up if you procrastinate. A few hands go up, and I can see a few on the front row, and I'm like, yeah, they're going to procrastinate tomorrow. You know, they're too busy to procrastinate. They're too busy procrastinating to procrastinate. But yeah, the breathing exercise is really good, because you can't, from a physiological basis, really kind of like focus on your breath and be elsewhere, you know, be in your thoughts somewhere else. When you're really focused on your breath, it brings you back to yourself, to your present, you know, to the present. You're going to be focusing right on your breath, and you shouldn't be able to have those perpetuating thoughts of just absolute doom and disaster at the same time as doing this. So you breathe in for 4 and you go Big breath, and you hold it for 7. And then you go release for 8. And for 4, hold for 7, release for 8. Seriously, by like round 2 or 3 of that, you just feel it all just melt away. Seriously, guys, it's really, really powerful. You might think it's bullshit, and you're like, what, a stupid little breathing exercise that's really going to put my mind at rest when I've got all this shit going on. Just try it. Believe me, don't just you know, disregard it. Try it. It is amazingly effective at what it's designed to do. Well, breathing is what your body's designed to do because it keeps you alive. So that was last week, right? So we looked at what anxiety is in the first week and then the physical symptoms of that. This week I want to look at this chapter. It's chapter 4. Right, I'm going to try it, says Fanny. You should know, okay, what we're going to do is you've got to turn your shoulds into musts, Fanny, alright? So if you should try it, you must try it. And you don't actually try it, just do it, okay? If I said to you, I do this exercise a few times with people, I'm like, you can't see anything on my desk, can you? But I'm like, try it, say that's my phone on a flat table. And I go to people, they say, oh, I'm going to try that. And I go, right, okay, just before you do that, just let me just show you something. Just try and pick up my phone now. And they go, and I go, no, put it down. Right, now try and pick it up. And they go, no, you're picking it up. Try and pick it up. And they're like, I don't get it. I'm like, exactly, because you can't. You either pick it up or you put it down. You can't try and pick it up, okay? So don't try and do the breathing exercise, Fanny. Make it a must. When you turn your shoulds into musts, you start smashing life. Seriously. Chapter 4, guys, okay? I didn't say try. Yeah, you did. I'm sure you did. Who's so funny say try? I'm sure you said I'm going to try it. Give me some hearts if you saw the word try. If you didn't, I apologise, but I'm sure I saw the word try. There's some hearts coming through, so someone saw it. Someone's with me on this. Chapter 4, guys, is called Don't Be a Jerk to Yourself. Said I'm gonna. Oh, well, good. She said I'm gonna, not try. Well, I don't know where I read that, but good. Do it. Right, yeah, don't be a jerk to yourself, because I think a lot of people are guilty of this, just in life in general. People are not very kind to themselves. Who has, and we're going to talk about it now, massive guilt if they've got a to-do list and they're anxious about getting it done, and then if they work on something that isn't that, they feel even more guilty and more anxious that they're not working on it. Which is kind of like, and then when they get themselves into that kind of mood, then they're not in any mood to work on it. It's like, again, just like a vicious cycle. We'll look at that a little bit tonight. It's something that I've kind of experienced a little bit of that in the past. He says, seriously, this is Robert's words. Robert says, seriously, just don't be a jerk to yourself, right? It takes more than the strategies that I've described so far in this book to really kick anxiety in the ass. I told you he's very blunt with his words. You need to set yourself up for success. You need to invest in yourself. You need to stop being a butthead. It's very American, isn't it? And sabotaging yourself. Let me take a wild guess here, okay? Your life is pretty stressful. Give me some hearts if you would class your life as pretty stressful. Do you find yourself saying to people and say, how are you? You go, oh, not bad, pretty stressed. There's some hearts coming through. I'm seeing the hearts. Okay, it says you have things seem to happen quickly, okay? And often, at times, there are factors that are out of your control, but that significantly contribute to your level of anxiety. So things that are out of your control can significantly contribute to your level of anxiety. You have this high level of kinetic energy inside of you. And sometimes it feels like you can't stop the hamster from running at full speed, and it just won't fall off the wheel, even though it's so tired that it could die. Anyone relate to that? You feel like you're a hamster going at full speed, but you just can't fall off the wheel, even though you're so tired you feel you might die? Okay, about 60% of you just nodded your head, reckons Robert. Fanny says yes. Miss Gypsy says yes. Okay, he says, so I feel good about this next part I'm going to advise you on. You need, he puts in capital letters, you need to take a damn break. Okay, actually you need to take several breaks. You should take several breaks every day. I know, crazy concept, right? One of the annoying things about anxiety is that it almost never occurs in isolation. If you're the type of person to carry a lot of worry, especially after unfinished business, you're also probably the type to feel really guilty when you do things other than those pieces of unfinished business. Guilt is such a shitty thing. As if things weren't hard enough with the anxiety symptoms, guilt just creeps right up in there and makes things exceptionally more difficult. Fanny's saying yes, yes, yes again. I like to call this snowballing. You get worked up, and then getting worked up makes you feel bad. And then you get more worked up about feeling bad about getting worked up. And then you get the point. Okay, so that's what I was saying. It's that cycle. Sometimes it's like, you know you should get shit done, but you then go, I don't feel quite in the mood. So I'm going to sit here. Then I'm going to feel guilty that I'm not getting those things done, which is going to make me feel even less in the mood. I'm going to feel even more guilty. It's just like on and on and on and on and on. So yeah, back to the breaks. What if I told you that taking breaks and doing nice things for yourself was not a waste of time? Right? What if I said that they are not counterproductive, but actually one of the most productive uses of your time? I don't have a punchline for that one, but it's the truth, says Robert. By giving yourself breaks, you are taking the time and investing in your future self. If you let yourself snowball and reach the point of burnout, which is a state of pure blah, then any work you do is just going to suck anyway. Last night I got to that stage. I was like, I know I've got more of this launch to do for this mindset program we're bringing out now on the 3rd of November. And I was like, I know I've got more to do, but I was so burnt out. I knew if I was going to do any work, it would be really poor, low quality work. The best thing for me to do at that time was to literally go to bed. It was just game over. I knew I would not be productive if I carried on. I was burnt out. So he says, I'll talk more about different types of breaks and what you can do to invest in yourself, but the concept is really important. When you relax and recharge, you're gaining strength and clarity. You're enabling yourself to work, make decisions, and just exist more efficiently and effectively in the future. So who's felt guilty about taking a break recently, or who's felt guilty about not getting everything done on their to-do list, or is like, you know, putting these invented deadlines on themselves as if they were like, you know, you are your own boss and obviously you've got to kick your own ass to get stuff done. But sometimes are you know, being way too harsh on yourself or setting unrealistic time-bound goals? But then where's the line between being lazy and working hard? You'll know where it is in your heart, Fanny. You will know where it is, because you'll know when you've worked hard that you deserve that break. It's simple. I know when I've done a decent amount of work. So for me, I do something called well, actually I've changed the allotted times now, but basically 60-60-30 is what a lot of productivity coaches will tell you, and that's where you do 60 minutes of focused work on one thing in your life, then you do 60 minutes of something else completely unrelated in your life, and then you have a complete 30 minutes of disconnect. And if you do that 3 times a day, that's 6 hours of super high focused work. That's an hour and a half break throughout that of stuff where you completely disconnect, don't even think about your work. It might be literally watching an episode of Breaking Bad or House of Cards or Stranger Things or whatever you're watching on Netflix. But I've changed that to 55, 5 minutes off, 55, 5 minutes off, just so I get that 5 minutes in between changing tasks, and then I have a 25-minute break. But something work all the time. Say that again, Fanny. Write that question again. I didn't see it. It sounds like, though, when you're asking these questions, you probably are very harsh on yourself in terms of not allowing yourself to recharge your batteries. Tony just said, you know, that's bullshit. So I don't know what I don't know what the question Fanny asked, but that Tony reckons whatever you asked then, Fanny, was bullshit. All right, and Tony knows what he's talking about. Okay, so let's have a look at the kind of breaks you can take. He says, what kind of breaks? Well, that depends. What recharges your batteries? And this is different for every single person. Some people love going out and getting a drink with their friends. Doesn't mean an alcoholic drink before you start saying that. I go out and just have Starbucks with my mates. It's an amazing time. I love it more than most things, to be honest. That really recharges my batteries. And for those of you that are introverted in nature, though, a night out with friends would leave you feeling drained and empty when you get home, so probably not the best choice for your breaks. You've got to do something that fits with you as a person. Chocolate for Dawn. Dawn likes having a little bit of chocolate. I like a little hot chocolate, at night time sometimes, Dawn. I'm going to get one after this, I think. Rob says, for me, a big one is playing video games. Okay, it seems lazy, but it relaxes me, and as long as I put limits on myself, I feel much better and more refreshed afterwards. He even says a few of these chapters in this book were cranked out in 20 minutes right after a League of Legends game. League of Legends is a game. I've never played it, but Rob likes it. Yeah, so he's even, he's very productive when you're writing a book. This guy just sets limits on how much time out he has, and that's all you've got to do. You should never feel guilty having 20, 25, 30 minutes off. Another way you can be nicer to yourself is by replacing some of that asshole language that you use towards yourself in your head. Since I already read my own chapter on cognitions, remember we were just talking at the beginning about, reading other people's minds, he goes, I know I can't read your mind, but I can take a pretty educated guess that the things you say to yourself, known as self-talk, aren't always friendly. Okay, this is what I talk to people about this all the time. People ask themselves super negative questions in the morning. Their self-talk is very negative. What's going to go wrong today? When am I ever going to get a job? When am I ever going to look like that? When will I lose weight? When will I look a bit different? All this kind of stuff. God, I live by the most derogatory language to myself. This is like the root of so much of what's going on for you then, Fanny. You must stop the negative self-talk and start replacing it with higher quality questions. He says, so the things that people say to themselves are like, I'm bad at everything, I have terrible luck. I think luck's total bullshit. I heard people mentioning luck earlier today, going, oh yeah, they're always lucky, always win at raffles and things like that. They just spend the most money on raffles. Or, oh my god, I look so stupid right now. Okay, things like that. This negative self-talk is something you probably aren't even aware of, but it eats away at you bit by bit and erodes that self-confidence that you need to tackle your anxiety. No such thing as luck, only opportunities taken, says Fanny. No, I agree with you. Sometimes you can be very lucky in terms of like when you see these videos online where a rally car comes off the track and misses somebody's head by that much. But I think apart from that, you make your own luck, as Dawn has just said. It says it's not much use fighting your thoughts. Okay, it's not much use fighting them. All right, you've got to work with them. Whatever you do right now, guys, right, do not think of a purple monkey. All right, do not think of a purple monkey. So whatever you do right now, do not think of a purple monkey. I bet you just thought of a purple monkey, didn't you? Give us a heart if you thought of a purple monkey when I told you not to think of a purple monkey. Don't think of a red car. I bet you just thought of a red car. Fighting against your thoughts is not an effective strategy. All the hearts are and the purple hearts are coming through then as well. Give yourself so what do you do instead, if instead of fighting against these thoughts? Damn it, you know what I'm thinking of. That's Tony. Yeah, fighting against your thoughts is not an effective strategy. So what you can do instead is focus on replacement language. Okay, so what you need to do, Fanny, don't fight those thoughts, replace your language. Give yourself some mantras. I go through power phrases in Bulletproof Actor when the program I keep talking about. But this is similar. Give yourself mantras to repeat to yourself throughout the day or when you are actively experiencing symptoms. You can even write them on your bathroom mirror or put them as the wallpaper on your phone. Here's a few you can use. I'm allowed to make more mistakes. I'm allowed to feel good sometimes. Anxiety is my bitch. Okay, you are not anxiety's bitch. I don't like these feelings, but they won't hurt me. Okay, that's the most important part of that one. I'm gonna be alright. The last thing I want to mention about taking better care of yourself is some basic stuff. It's basic stuff you're probably terrible about adhering to, though. Just before we go on to that, yeah, power phrases, like I say, and those phrases there are really, really powerful when you inhabit them, especially if you can inhabit them physically. So if you can say them while you're walking, and you know, and hit words as you're on your strides, you know, kind of inhabit and physicalize what you're saying. So on the way to auditions, I know it sounds mental, or just on the way to the gym, you know, sometimes, and I started getting up in the morning, one of the first things I say, I've even got my mum saying this, and my mum's the most skeptical person in the world, you know. I'm turning her around a little bit, but I've even got her saying, today's going to be a great day. Today is going to be a great day. Before anything else has ever happened in the day, before literally one of the first things as I'm making my bed, that's what I'm saying. Even though I feel completely tired, and I'm like, I've now got to go and walk a mile in the dark to the gym, I tell myself that because it just makes me feel better about what's going to happen. It seems if you give yourself that kindness, you'll become stagnant, can't achieve greatness unless you're harsh. No, it's bullshit, Fanny. I absolutely 100% disagree with you. All you're doing when you're being really harsh on yourself is basically accepting that you're going to spend probably 95 to 99% of your life miserable and unhappy. And I'd say if that was what you were experiencing right now, or have experienced over previous years, it's about time something's got to change. Your belief system has to change. If everything was right in your life and you were dead happy about everything, and that might be the case, so, you know, I don't know otherwise, but you know, and you were saying that, I'd go, okay, that's absolutely fine, and I you know, absolutely take on board anybody's opinions of, you know, how they work best for themselves. I don't think there's a one rule fits all, but in 99% of cases, what I find is people who question stuff like, you know, kind of like this, that seems to be written in every personal development book or book of success, or every speaker or successful person that you hear. The people, you know, there's something that's not a coincidence that the people who are writing about this stuff seem to have massive success, and the people who question it are the people who are unhappy most of the time. I don't think it's there's a fine line between letting yourself off with too much and being lazy, and being kind to yourself. Being kind to yourself is accepting that you are human, you have flaws, and that's perfectly all right. That it's fine that you don't have everything figured out. It's fine that you are confused because you know you're about to learn something. It's fine to make mistakes because really there are no mistakes, there are only outcomes, and you will learn from every outcome, you know, whether it's good or bad. Things like that will enable you to accept the situations you're in, live in the present, not fear the future or regret the past, and actually live your life. Being super harsh on yourself and saying you must do this or you are a failure literally is like just going to make you feel like shit. And I think all of us in our lives have experienced that feeling of feeling like shit so many times. We know what it's like. We don't need to feel it again. So true. The ones who are willing to apply these things before they believe them are more successful, says Tony. Yeah, absolutely. I'll tell you an example of this, guys. I read a lot of autobiographies, and in every autobiography I've ever read on very, very successful people, almost chapter 1 in every single case was morning routine. And the morning routine would involve these people getting up straight out of bed and moving their bodies. It doesn't mean going and doing a massive workout, but getting out of bed, straight into their running shoes or whatever, and going for a walk at least. It might be plunging into a pool of cold water or warm water to change their physical state, but it's all about getting physical first thing in the morning. After that, they would create a little bit of time out for themselves in the morning, maybe 30 minutes, listen to a podcast, or some sort of self-development, some personal development. Then they would make a healthy breakfast, and then they would be ready to start their work. They wouldn't look at their work before they'd completed any of that morning routine. For 8 years, I skipped that chapter, right? Every single book I read would begin with that. I skipped that and was like, I'm not bothered about that. Where's your business strategies? How have you done this? How have you grown this? How have you grown your social media following? How have you created products? How have you sold this? How have you been more successful in your acting career? All this kind of stuff. And I skipped it until, if I'm completely honest, like, what now, 5 months ago? Something like that. Morning bike ride tomorrow. Says, oh, John's here, awesome. I skipped it for years and years and years and years and years. discounting it and going, it doesn't really matter. My life has changed having a morning routine before checking anything important. Absolutely. I've never been more productive in my life than I have been in the last 5 months since getting this morning routine absolutely nailed. And sometimes it's hard and sometimes I don't want to do it, but I know come 8 o'clock in the morning when I've got up, I've already been to the gym, I've done my workout, I'm walking home and listening to a podcast, you know, and I'm expanding, you know, I'm getting better physically, I'm expanding my mind, listening to these podcasts, and that might be business, spirituality, emotional mastery, just whatever, you know, listening to interviews, that kind of thing. I get home, I make my breakfast, I have a shower, I'm sat in front of my computer, I'm ready to roll by about 9:30, and I'm super productive. Before I started that, I just poo-pooed it as like, nah, you know, not really bothered, even though so many people were telling me, plus it puts you in a better mood for the rest of the day, says Tony. So many people were telling me in books I were reading were talking about this stuff. I still was discounting it as not as important as the rest of the book. Really, there was a reason why it was chapter 1, and it was the most important part of the book. I wish I had realised earlier. And I think the reason that in every self-development book on the planet and everything that you read tells you about being kinder to yourself, adopting positive self-talk, you know, things like meditation, these breathing exercises, power phrases, you know, mantras, incantations, as Tony Robbins calls them, not in can't, but incantations. I can do this. The reason they're in everything is because they work. So I would, you know, really recommend that people do try some of these things, particularly if they aren't where they want to be. Their beliefs need to change. Your beliefs about these things need to change. If you have been waking up for the past year asking yourself the same shitty questions in the same place you've always been, it's time something changes. So let's change it and at least try some of these things. But yeah, being kind to yourself. I was talking about those incantations, those mantras. So on the way to the gym, exactly, says Emily, on the way to the gym, or on the way to an audition or something, you know, like I say, I've already started, you know, this whole today's gonna be a great day kind of thing. I've been doing that for quite a while now, a few years, and that definitely makes a big difference. But other power phrases I have are things like, every day in every way I'm getting better and better and stronger and stronger. Every day in every way I'm getting better and better and stronger and stronger. Before I walk into a room in an audition, I have this one where I'm like, everything I need is within me now and I have the courage to see it through. Everything I need is within me now and I have the courage to see it through. And seriously, it's just this little state trigger, as they call them in positive psychology, that will just lift your state of being for that time you are about to walk into a situation that could cause this kind of anxiety that we're talking about. Powerful, sounds simple, sounds stupid even, daft. What if someone hears me saying every day and every way I'm getting better and better and stronger and stronger? They're going to think I'm mental. Who gives a shit? Who gives a shit, okay, if it's going to bring you more success? Let them think that whilst they're unhappy doing their shit. You know, you don't need to worry about that when you're going up to your next level and the level beyond that and the level beyond that. So these last bits that Rob talks about, he says, this is the part where I tell you that your body is a temple, okay? Well, it is. All right, take care of it. I couldn't agree more with this. Your body is the greatest gift you will ever be given, guys. You need to understand this. This is an absolute miracle. You have been born the most advanced species in the universe that we know of, okay? You weren't born a dog or a bird or a thing on Mars. You were born a human being, the most advanced thing in the world. Please look after your body, and if you're not looking after it right now, start making a conscious effort to do so. It's the only thing that you will ever truly own, that nobody can ever take off you. All this material shit we have, it's not mine. Yeah, I might think it's mine. It's not mine. This is mine. This is the only thing that is really mine, okay? None of this stuff that surrounds me is really mine. The same in your life as well, okay? Look after your body. You might not know how good you were designed to feel, and you will only feel as good as what you're fueling your body with, whether that's fuel, emotions, thoughts, spirituality, physicality, working out. Everything affects everything. Start looking after your body and you'll have a better life overall. So he says, you don't have to do the whole ultra gluten-free level 5 vegan juice diet crap. And I don't agree, you know, you don't have to do that, I agree with you there. But treat your body well. Don't eat tons of junk food without getting some green in your life once every while. Don't drink excessive amounts of alcohol when it's not your birthday. Try to drink more water than you do now, because I'm sure you don't drink enough of it. I don't think I still drink enough water. Sleep is a topic for another book, but resting is really important. Interestingly, sleep is totally vital for learning new skills, which is what I've been bitching at you about this whole time. During sleep, you'll consolidate new memories so that you can reach up in there and pull them out when you need to. So get plenty of sleep and keep beating that brain into submission with your new awesome anxiety slaying skills. And that's the end of that chapter. It's ultimately all just about being kind to yourself. Don't be a jerk to yourself, because I think that can be the catalyst for so much of the other stuff that we're talking about when you aren't kind to yourself. So Fanny, I would absolutely suggest to you that you start being kinder to yourself. You don't have to be this harsh taskmaster, you are a failure if you don't do this. Otherwise, ultimately, you're just, as I say, you're going to live your life in such a negative state. You're going to constantly feel disempowered, which means you're going to turn up to the world and show up in the world in a very negative way, or a disempowered way at least. You might not be negative to other people, but in your head you are being to yourself. I'm not as good as them. I've noticed someone in the Bulletproof Actor on this program in the course for the existing students who are in there. Someone left a comment on one of the lessons before that said that they still to this day can't speak to anyone in authority. I think fundamentally I believe that only a chosen few deserve to be nice to themselves. No, I disagree. Absolutely disagree with you. Everybody deserves to be nice to yourselves. Ultimately, our belief system is formed by our past experiences, so I'm guessing you've had some pretty harsh negative past experiences that have led you to form that belief, Fanny. But I think it's a very, very limiting belief, and I don't think for anybody, regardless of what's happened, I know this is true because there's a charity that I've worked with, an amazing charity in Stafford called Ruby Girl, and they work with women who have been in massively abusive relationships, ex-offenders, ex-drug users, all kind of things. I've been in to do a talk with those guys a few times, and they're amazing, and they're all like absolute shining examples of how your past absolutely does not dictate your future. And regardless of what's happened, and whether people are beating themselves up about things that they've done, or things they've said to people, or how they've hurt people or whatever, I bet that was fantastic, Ross. It's amazing. It's an amazing group of people. I love doing coaching in charities and places like that. I learn a lot. I learn a shed load in situations like that from those people as well. And they're all absolutely like born again kind of people who have accepted that they need to be kind to themselves, realise their past doesn't dictate their future, that the past doesn't really exist. When the past happened, it was happening in the now. When the future happens, it will be happening in the now. So the now is really all that we have. Everything else is kind of gone. So if you're living your life worrying about the future and living in the past, you're robbing yourself of right now. And they're completely turning their lives around, doing amazing things, contributing and growing through that contribution. I get a lot of this from Tony Robbins in his book and documentary. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Tony Robbins is just absolutely amazing guy. There's a lot of videos of his interventions and stuff online that you can watch where you will see absolutely broken people, suicidal people. And Tony prides himself on having never lost a person to suicide when he gets the call to say, look, this person's about to kill themselves. The reason suicide kind of happens, or people have suicidal thoughts, is it's almost like an egotistical kind of thing. I mean, that sounds harsh, but let me explain. It's really when somebody believes that the situation they are in is so unique to themselves, is so absolutely unique, that it's never ever happened to anybody else on the planet. Nobody therefore could ever understand them, thus nobody else could ever help them. And in a way, it's incredibly egotistical when you think, okay, in thousands of years of man, there has never been another person in a situation like you. Of course there have. There will be hundreds, if not thousands, at the same time as you, feeling the same way that you are feeling right now. But yeah, Tony does an awful lot of work on state change and pulling people out of those places. And the first thing he teaches and he coaches in so many things is acceptance and letting go of being kinder to yourself. I was earth-shattering and uniquely yours at the time. Yeah, absolutely, Fanny, definitely. I've been in a situation before where I'm like, oh my god, this is so terrible. And then you realise that you ain't on your own. You really aren't. When people were first joining these Periscopes and stuff we were doing on anxiety, I'm sure before a few people put their hands up and said there's something I'm living with, they waited for other people to do it first, and the brave ones who went first and went, I'm living with anxiety, then they went, oh god, right, I'm not on my own, yeah, I'll admit it as well. And when you do that, you realise actually we're not all that different to each other, regardless of what mind reading you're doing of perceived success or how people are feeling. I quote the example of Robin Williams quite a lot, adored by millions, surrounded by great people, great career on paper, all the money in the world, friends in the world, hung himself. Didn't stop him from killing himself because he obviously felt he was in a situation. There's a few things coming out about him at the moment about other illnesses he might have had that he couldn't deal with, but still he felt he was in such a unique situation that was it. Nobody could help him, and that's really sad because I'm sure there are people who definitely could have helped him, and he had a choice to stay and could have still been with us today. But it all begins with being kind to yourself. Seriously, please, the message for this Periscope is just be kind to yourself. Okay, take those breaks, don't burn yourself out, don't put such unrealistic expectations on your time and what you can get done in that time. Work in focus blocks, like I said, maybe do that 60-60-30 rule. Do 60 minutes on one task, 60 minutes on another, 30 minutes completely off. Repeat that 3 times a day, or even twice if you are up against it. Still 4 hours, or even once. Just be kind once. Even 2 hours of focused work a day is 14 hours of focused work a week. Massive gains can be made in 14 hours, trust me. Huge gains can be made in 14 hours. Over the space of a month, you could easily set up a business in that time. That's like 56 hours of solid work in a month. It's over a full working week's amount of time. So just be kind to yourself and take those breaks, recharge your batteries, because you're useless to yourself and anyone else when your batteries are drained. Something that helps me is thinking, by being mean to myself, I'm hurting the people I care about. Yeah, absolutely, definitely, Tony. They wouldn't want that. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Definitely not. No one's going to want that for you. No one likes to see people being nasty to themselves. And I think a lot of that as well is and this is another thing Tony Robbins says a lot. He says life happens for us and not to us. And when you can kind of put that spin on everything and ask yourself those positive questions that I mention all the time, like what good is there right now that I currently cannot see? What good is there in this situation that I currently cannot see? And you look for that, as opposed to I'm a failure, I'm so shit at this, oh god, it's all gone wrong again, all those kind of things. Actually, what good is there right now that I can see? Okay, well, you know what, it might not have all gone right, but that little part of it went right for me, so I've learned from that. I've learned from that outcome. This has happened for me, it hasn't happened to me. When you go through life living a life happens to me kind of vibe, you're a victim of everything. And they're the type of people who will constantly tell you they don't have enough time, they don't have enough money, they didn't have enough sleep, they don't have enough friends, they don't have enough opportunity, all this kind of stuff, because that's all they focus on. Whereas if they ask themselves what good is there right now and they focused on that, it isn't law of attraction. I don't agree with that entirely in itself, because I think very negative things can sometimes happen to you even though you are thinking amazing thoughts at the time. You can be like, oh my god, I got up this morning, had my morning routine, was doing my power phrases on the way to the gym, worked out, helped somebody, bought a big issue from a homeless person, did all this great stuff, and bang, I still got hit by a car. Oh my god, I must have attracted it into my life. No, alright, you didn't. That is just a situation life will throw at you that you have no control over. You only have the control of how you react to that situation, though. And you can either go, I've been hit by a car, what a tragedy, life happens to me, I've broken my leg, oh that's it, or actually life happens for me, I appreciate I'm mortal, I'm alive, I'm going to take my life so much more seriously now, and I'm actually going to go out and do something because I could have just been killed. It's all about how you look at stuff, guys. It really is. That's the be-all and end-all of everything, is how you view and react to the situations that you are in that really counts. But one way to make it all better, or make it a lot easier, is to start at least by being kind to yourself. So that's book club for this week. We've got one more week on this, and there's so many good chapters in it, guys. I'm going to do one more, so we're going to be missing way over half of the book. I recommend you buy this book. It's £2 something on Kindle. Fanny's found it as audiobook for free, I think, on YouTube, something like that. Fanny, I can't remember what you said. Or the hardback, well, the paperback version, this version was £6 from Amazon, so it's probably about $10 for you guys in the States. But it's very, very good, very easy to read, super normal language, okay? Although Rob Duff's got a PhD in psychology, you know, he's very, very well read, talks a lot of sense, it's all backed up by science, but he just puts it in very layman's terms so you can get it. You know, it's very, very simple to understand, and there's some great things in there. That breathing exercise for me was a huge takeaway from the book I'd never heard of, and it's just brilliant, really, really good. It's just getting yourself relaxed and focusing on your breath, staying present, and just getting rid of any anxiety you might have in that moment. Try it. 4, 7, 8. Breathe in for 4, hold it for 7, release for 8. Do it 5 to 15 minutes. You'll be like proper chilled like this. Just super zen. It's good. So that's it, guys. I hope you've enjoyed that. I've got some great news to announce, okay? I know I've mentioned it a few times and I'm like a broken record, but Bulletproof Actor, Unstoppable Confidence, Infinite Success is a huge positive psychology, science-based positive psychology mindset training program I created earlier this year, specifically for actors, for those in the entertainment industry, but especially for actors. It's called Bulletproof Actor. I launched it for the first time in February. Can you do it from the States? You certainly can, Miss Gypsy. It's completely online. You can do it at your own pace. There is live training involved in the VIP version of it as well, and we do that at 7:30 p.m. on Thursday nights for 5 weeks, starting on I think it starts on like the 15th of November, I think, if that's a Friday. And you can join the live calls. That's UK time, so for you that'll be a few hours. That'll be after the afternoon for you. But if you can't make the live calls, there's replays of it all, so you get replays to it, and you can leave comments on all the lessons and ask questions, and you get coaching that way. But primarily, it consists of 33 high definition, super high quality videos. They're video lessons, over 4 hours of video. A bit like these Periscopes, in the same setting actually, same backdrop, me filming it at my desk here, much higher quality though, and super far more in depth. It takes you through an incredible journey, effectively, of tearing down your current limiting belief system, which I don't care who you are, and I include myself before I started getting into this. I had an incredibly limiting belief system about myself, what I was capable of, you know, what I deserved, what I was going to achieve, all this kind of stuff. And it takes you through a real science-backed positive psychology journey, using some amazing strategies that I've learned over the last decade of studying this stuff to completely rewrite your limiting life story and rewrite a limitless life story that you will live by forevermore. 2 versions of the program. There's an independent study program where you go through it on your own with all the videos and the workbooks. You get 5 super high quality workbooks. They're super in-depth workbooks as well, guys. These aren't just like things that have you know, been knocked up for a laugh. There's loads of exercises and things to fill in here. They're all really high quality. There's me. That's me with a on set of a James Bond style type film. Put that's in there when I was acting. There's my mate Mark. He's a high performance coach from America. Coaches some of the world's biggest sports stars, movie stars, singers on high performance. Who else have we got in here? Rob Collier, my mate from Downton Abbey. Talk about his life story as well. But there's loads of awesome stuff in the books. You go through the books, you fill in the worksheets, you get a shed load out of that, you do the videos, you attend the live calls as well, and ultimately you transform your life. I'm going to launch, though, before the enrolment for the second intake of this. It's only the second time I've done it. 50 actors went through it in February. It's the second time I've done this. I'm going to launch, though, a free mini course, which is a 3-part video course, completely for free. It launches at 10 a.m. next Tuesday, okay? Next Tuesday, the 25th of October. You'll be able to find that at bulletproofactor.com from next Tuesday. But if you go to bulletproofactor.com right now, leave your name and your email address, you will get an invite to that. The mini course, I say mini, but it's well over an hour. It's 3 videos. The first one's about 30 minutes long. The second one's 22 minutes long. The third one's about 20 minutes long as well. When is it? So it says, Fanny, it's coming out on Tuesday, Fanny, Tuesday the 25th of October. So next Tuesday, in just a few days' time. But if you go to bulletproofactor.com, you can read about the full program there, but you can also leave your name and email address on a form to get on what's called the early bird list, where you'll be the first people invited to take part in the course. Yeah, go there, bulletproofactor.com, leave that, and you'll get an email the minute I send the mini course out. The mini course video 1 will be released on Tuesday, video 2 will be released on the Thursday. I'll tell you when the videos will be released, so you get the gist. I've got the schedule up here that I've done today. So yeah, Tuesday the 25th, video 1 comes out. Friday the 28th, video 2. Tuesday the 1st of November, video 3. And then at the end of video 3, there's an announcement that enrolment for the full program will commence on Thursday the 3rd. Registration is open for a week, so it closes on November the 10th, and then the first live training that we do is shortly after that for 5 weeks. It finishes on the 15th of December. And the reason I've done this, I want to tell you, the reason I've done this now, and I've not saved it for the new year, because I knew people would be like really, hyped up to go, come on, January's here, yeah, let's get on this and change our minds. Is I'm like, actually, you know what, we can get ahead of all of those people who are going to be doing those kind of things in January and February in the acting industry or whatever industry you are in. We can get ahead, set ourselves up with, an unbelievable, unstoppable confidence, a completely new belief system, a bulletproof psychology. By mid-December, enjoy Christmas in a super high state, so you're actually going to enjoy it. That would be nice, wouldn't it? And then you can hit the ground running in January, ready to smash the shit out of 2017. So that's the reason I've been very specific with how we're going to launch this. So if you're interested in that and you want to get on the early bird list, bulletproofactor.com, go there now, sign up for updates, and I'll send you that free video course. I'll send you video 1 next Tuesday. I'll show you before you go, little sneak peek of some of the stuff. Oh, here's a little landing page here. The most important acting class you will ever take. Free 3-part video course. Who's that? There he is. And if we just play this, have a little play. If it will play. Have I got Wi-Fi enough? Should have. Come on, it's because I'm periscoping at the same time. Look at this. The anticipation is immense. I can't cope. Give some hearts if you can't cope with the... There you go, something's happening. My mouth is open, says Fanny. Done, it says Dawn. Oh, look what's beginning. It's slick. I mean, seriously. Bulletproof Actor. I put a lot of my life into this, guys.
Hey there, it's Ross here from Acts on This, the TV Actors Network, and if you are watching this video, it means my free 3-part high-performance mindset coaching program for actors is currently available right now. This 100% free course is only going to be available, though, for a few days, so be quick and get your hands on it now whilst you can. If you are struggling, guys, to reach that next level...
Boom. It's good, isn't it? But yeah, the free mini course, seriously guys, is so powerful. Even if you didn't go on to do the full program, if you're not in the right place right now, you've got to be committed to do it, really. If you're questioning it, maybe it's not the right time, but you've got to be super committed. It's a tough program. It will make you get uncomfortable, but I want people to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. So excited, says Dawn. I'd be super excited to have you in the program, Dawn. I wish I could read you some of the comments that people have left when they completed the program. Seriously, it's unbelievable. It's absolutely changed lives. And I even offer a 30-day money-back guarantee on it as well. I know it sounds cheesy, but effectively you go through the program, you don't get insane value out of it. You've got to complete it. You can't just dabble in it. You've got to go through it. That's the terms of the agreement for the guarantee. But if you go through it, you watch all the videos, fill it all in, do all the exercises, and you don't feel you have 10 times your confidence, your productivity, and your motivation, you get a full refund, no questions asked. Man, I missed all that video. His internet cut out. Fanny missed the video. Well, you've only got to wait till Tuesday, Fanny, and you get your hands on it. No problem. Go to bulletproofactor.com now, though, and sign up for your invite. It's so exciting, guys. Seriously, it's the best 5 weeks of my year. I do it twice. Actually, it's the best 10 weeks of my year, taking actors through this. But I've seen it absolutely transform lives. And also, we had a couple of really established actors who are like really quite well known in this country as well go through it last time, and it's amazing to see them. Someone was doing it on the plane as they were flying from here to LA, and the minute they touched down in LA, they were being driven somewhere and they had to film the next morning. And somebody sent me a message just before they went onto set to say, oh my god, I just did this module on the plane, and everything that I was kind of fearing about this job, I've got completely under control. And they went on to do their greatest work. They loved it. So yeah, super exciting. I'm really excited to kind of show you guys a bit more. So look out for that. If I've got time, fingers crossed, I'm going to release a 5 to Thrive podcast on iTunes this Friday. I know I missed last week, but it's because I was filming all of this stuff. If you've not subscribed to the podcast yet, they're like mini Periscope episodes. They're called 5 to Thrive, but they're about 10 minutes long. They've never been 5 minutes long. But go to iTunes, search for Act on This TV, all one word, Act on This TV. Subscribe. There's about 22 episodes there at the moment. They're getting, great reviews, and it's something to listen to as part of your morning routine, your morning ritual. I love listening to a podcast on the way up from the gym. It sets me up. So I'm going to go, guys. It's been a 55-minute Periscope. I said at the start it would be a short one, but thank you. How do I get my picture on messages rather than an egg? Dawn, you need to upload a picture to Twitter because you log into Periscope via Twitter. Make sure you've got a profile picture on Twitter, or if you go into your Periscope app, you can click on the little icon in the bottom right hand corner, which is like of a few people, and then click in the settings, and you might be able to upload a picture there, but I'm pretty sure it takes it directly from your Twitter account. So you need to get yourself a new picture on Twitter, and you won't have just the basic Twitter egg as your picture on Periscope. For those who are watching the replay, you have a clue what I'm talking about because the pictures don't show up on the replay, but come and join us live next time and you'll be joining the chat as well. Right, thanks so much, guys. Appreciate you for watching the replay if you've got this far. Bulletproofactor.com. I'll be back on Monday with motivation and mind hacks, and also full details of the free mini course, I say, that will launch on Tuesday morning next week, the 25th of October. Until then, be amazing, be kind to yourself, go out there, get shit done, and enjoy your life. I'll catch up with you guys soon. Thanks so much. Bye for now.